All right, here with Lance Hate It, gravel and off-road extraordinaire, helping newbie roadie Jeff finally get out and do some off-road stuff. I've been in slow now for over a year. That kind of flew by. Lance is finally in a video and he's helping me explore the off-roads of San Luis Obispo.
Yeah.
First, we have to buy
Let's
a
do
bike.
it. Yes.
Okay, so the motivation behind this video, Cycle Limited reached out. They are today's video sponsor, and I don't want to spend money on a brand new bike.
Totally.
So Cycle Limited is going to help us. So the first question is like, what is there on offer? I haven't done anything. I've heard about it, but do I need a mountain bike? Do I need a cyclocross, gravel? Like, what kind of bike am I looking for San Luis Obispo?
For here, I mean, honestly, I think two really good options would be a capable gravel bike. We have really good gravel riding. A couple things we want to keep in mind though is like, if you're going out for a 70-mile gravel ride here in Slow, it's probably gonna be 50-50 pavement and like fairly gnarly gravel road. So we wanna get something that has plenty of tire clearance, a wide range of gearing for both the high-speed road sections and the super steep gravel climbs that we're gonna be doing. So yeah, I would say that's option one. That's a really good option. Option two is we go like full mountain bike. There, I would say like ideally for riding in this area.
I like the idea of riding from home.
Yeah.
So I like the option A a little bit better.
Yeah.
I want to be able to like ride to the trail, ride to the gravel, ride to the experience instead of driving there. And I don't want to like ride a mountain bike. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, totally. And I think you being comfortable on a road bike, like
a little bit closer.
the gravel bike is gonna feel familiar.
Cool. Let's see what we have available.
Dude, let's check it.
Yeah, help me out.
Okay.
So what are the things you're looking for? Obviously, like the first question might be like budget. I don't need something that's going to cost a whole bunch of money because I don't see myself, at least for now,
Totally.
going out and doing races. I don't need the top spec, but really what I'm looking for is a good deal.
Yeah, I guess the category is gravel and cyclocross, which, I mean, they're in many ways similar bikes, but there definitely are some differences. You coming from like a road racing criterium background, when you're riding on the road on your gravel bike, you would probably prefer a bike that's a little more twitchy, a little more aggressive, feels like nice and snappy and fast. If you go for a full gravel Exploro type of bike, they're very confidence-inspiring off-road, but they handle a little bit like a boat. Really long wheelbase, they're stable, not fast feeling. Cyclocross bike, complete other end of the spectrum, short wheelbase, high bottom bracket, very stiff, aggressive frame. I mean, they're made to race all out for 45 minutes to an hour. So that's kind of like both ends of the spectrum. I mean, we'll see what options we have, but we want to be able to put some pretty fat tires on your bike. It's just going to make it much more enjoyable, not going to be changing flats all the time.
That's still the trend, like you want to go pretty aggressive on the geometry and the frame, like stiff, aero, and then the comfort comes into tires. Is that still the trend?
That's what I personally like. I mean, I ride specialized bikes, so I go for the Crux, which is traditionally a cyclocross bike. It's
but
definitely.
You also, just in case you guys don't know, you know a little bit about cyclocross.
I do.
You are a national champion.
In the day, not current, but back in the day, yes. Check out this 3T. I think it actually, just looking at the setup here, definitely has some potential. So this is your rear derailleur here. Which
is that like the top? Is that like the red level? Like where?
Yeah. So XX or with SRAM, XX is SRAM red level.
Okay.
XO is typically more of like a force level.
Okay.
So yeah, we've got a pretty sweet setup here.
Wait, am I crazy, or is this like relatively cheap? Because if it were a road bike with like red,
yeah,
it would be a lot more. It is a used bike.
Yeah, but it's not a cheap bike. Like, this is really nice stuff.
So now that we're looking at the drivetrain, tell me why I feel like SRAM most of the time on off-road, it's one by. Why is that?
Yeah, this is here like what we refer to as like the mullet setup. So it has a mountain bike cassette, a mountain bike rear derailleur, and then the rest of the group set is a road group set. 42 tooth chainring, and I think that's actually a 1050 if I had to guess. Yeah.
So gearing wise, we're looking pretty good.
Gearing wise, I would say this is
mullet's a good setup.
A really good setup for around here. And the cool thing about the mullet is like when you're riding rough terrain, that derailleur is designed for the demands of mountain biking, right?
Okay.
So like limiting drop chains, it shifts under load really well. I mean, it's gonna be a pretty sweet setup. Yeah, it's gonna be a little longer wheelbase. It's got some aero features, plenty of range here with getting your fit dial.
This could be one and done. This could be a winner,
This could be an option.
What about the tires? Just because I want to
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a bike and just have it be done. I don't want to replace anything.
I haven't tried these Pirelli Centrados, but I know quite a few guys who have. Honestly, it seemed like a good tire. I think they roll really fast. They have plenty of like corner knob for cornering, and they seem pretty tough. Yeah.
Wheels. Upgrade the wheels. That
Yeah,
would be the
upgrade
first
the wheels.
upgrade on this bike.
Totally.
40 mil would be the biggest. I have found on road bikes, this is not something you can bank on, right?
Yeah.
But I have found that when they say 32, usually it's like, well, you can put 34s on there, you know?
Yes. And that I will say the same thing with gravel. Typically they err on the side of caution.
But I can't get too gnarly if in fact 40 is the biggest. I can't do too crazy stuff around
And then this is the other thing that you don't really have to think about as much on the road, but on gravel, you're riding through terrain that can stick onto your tires. Summertime, not a problem, but we have a lot of clay-based dirt here in Slow. Fall, winter, when there's a little bit of rain, you're running 42s on your bike that is meant to fit 40s.
But it's actually measuring 60.
And now you have like 3 pounds of clay on your tires. You are gonna be ruining your frame.
Good point, but I'll tell you, for me personally,
Not riding in the mud?
I'm not riding the mud.
All right. I think that overall
Yeah,
is a pretty solid option.
we're keeping that tab open. That's pretty solid.
We'll keep that tab open.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what else we got. Yeah, I think this Giant is actually another contender here. One, I think this paint job's pretty
The paint job's pretty clean.
it's pretty rad. So no, this one is definitely pretty cool. Main differences here are a little less aero specific bike.
That's fine.
Yeah,
Again, I'm
that's-
not diving into a race,
No,
but it looks
totally.
like we have the same mullet setup.
You know what? So this is the Exploro group set, which the mullet setup is like a mountain bike cassette, mountain bike derailleur with a road group set. This is actually like a gravel specific group set from SRAM. It's a 1044 cassette, and the derailleur is, imagine like road derailleur, road clutch, everything like that, but basically the cage and actually the body of the derailleur has just been expanded a little bit to fit that wider range.
But the other one had more range. The other one was 1050, no?
1050, yeah. So this is a 1044. So a little tighter, still 12 speed, still part of the Axis ecosystem. The things here, it's not gonna be quite as robust. You're not gonna have quite the range, but for riding on the road or like high speed gravel, 12 gears between a 10 and a 44 versus
spacing.
a 10 and a 50, better spacing. So you're gonna be feeling like you're in the right gear more often at higher speeds. You're just gonna be a little limited on the low end side of things.
But would this is a 40 instead of a 42, I think was the...
Yeah, 40 tooth.
So I get a
chainring.
little bit smaller front chainring, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm a little bit limited on the flats, which I'm okay with. I'm not racing to the bottom of the gravel trail.
Totally.
But I think my bigger concern would be like, is 40-44 going to be a limitation compared to 42-50? They're similar though.
Yeah, I mean, it's still better than a 1-to-1.
There'll be some moments where I'm going to be...
Yeah, and I mean,
grinding.
honestly, like when you're doing gravel riding, there are some times where they call it gravel grinding for a reason, right? Like you're not necessarily in the perfect gear and you're gonna have to like muscle up some stuff.
Okay, so what are your other, like, compare this to the 3T then? Like, what are the other things? You said it's a bit heavier, it's not quite as aero. Those things I don't care that much about.
Yeah, it's Rival versus Force and XX. So it's a lower tier group set overall.
Oh, handlebars. Those are big.
Yeah, 44.
Which I would rather err on the side of bigger for this type of stuff than smaller for the control, and also you're just doing a lot of standing and you get a little better torque.
Little better torque, a little more stability.
But I'd probably rather have 42s on the 3Ts.
Yeah, and those are gonna feel big.
Yeah.
You know, which I don't think it's necessarily a problem unless you were like, man, I wanna race this thing.
Not a deal breaker for me.
Yeah, if anything, I think it'll actually give you a little more confidence on the descents, a little more stability.
And then price-wise, I'm saving a couple $100.
Yeah, saving a couple $100 there. I mean, I think this frame is really nice. Ooh, a little flip chip.
So we got a flip chip. Tell us what the flip chip is.
So that is basically changing the angles on your bike, the geometry.
It brings the wheelbase back a little bit? Is
Yeah, so it's gonna change your, I'm assuming this one probably, well, it either slacks everything out or it steepens everything up. And it looks like in the long position,
You get 53
you
millimeters.
can fit 53s. Which, I mean, dude, that's pretty dang good.
It's a good tire.
I would say that's definitely like a positive.
So we get a win. The Giant wins when it comes to tire clearance. It's a little bit cheaper.
I will say for here, you're gonna want more tire than this that's come in stock. Panaracer Gravel King Plus in
The
a
man
38.
knows his tires, ladies
Yeah.
and gentlemen. So those are 38s. Okay,
Yeah.
so it's coming with not so ideal tires.
They're a
but
little small and
it has the option to upgrade to something up to 53, which is huge.
totally. So they're giant alloy wheels, probably comparable to that.
Yeah,
to that
a
other.
break even with the 3T.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, we have two great options. Let's see if we can maybe find a third and then make a decision.
Okay.
Let's keep that one open.
Okay, here. Specialized S-Works Diverge. It's a 2020, it's a 58.
S works with that paint job.
I know, it's pretty sick. Definitely, I mean,
It's expensive though.
it's a $5,000 bike. That's gonna be.
Not sure I want to spend $5,000 on a bike, but
Okay,
tell me the reasons why I
let's
should.
look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think this thing definitely checks a lot of our boxes. It's got a XX mullet setup, so XX derailleur, XX cassette, 1050, 42 chainring, so same as that 3T. It's actually got the rainbow cassette, so
Style points.
yeah,
okay.
style points. It's light. It's got a power meter. It has carbon wheels. It has pretty darn good clearance. Currently, it has 38 Pathfinders on it. It's got room for 47. Okay, so yeah, I think that's modern, like 2025 gravel bikes might have a little more than that, but I
And
think
it
that
looks
is
really good. I know
looks-
that shouldn't really be part of it, but it
Dude,
looks
it
really
looks
good.
really good. Other thing about the Diverge, this has the Future Shock. Just takes out like a lot of the beating up your arms and hands that you experience in gravel riding. Actually helps maintain traction on that front tire as well. You're
Which
not
is good.
chattering around as
And
much.
good for the stuff that we're inexperienced.
Oh,
around
for
here.
sure. So I definitely think this is
$5,000 though.
I know.
$5,000. I don't know if I want to spend. This strikes me as like the buy once, cry once setup.
For sure.
And if I
Yes.
saw this long future where I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get into gravel,
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna start racing, this is gonna be a very long term, this would be a good investment.
Yep.
Because if you think about like the 3T, for example, that we
Mm-hmm.
looked at before, there were a couple of things that we wanted to change, right?
Totally.
And wheels is probably the big one.
Yep.
If I buy the 3T and I want to pursue racing and I want this to be a long-term thing, I might end up spending more than this bike.
Totally.
So that's a consideration. I'm not sure I want to spend that much on a bike
Yeah.
right now, but
Yeah.
I do want to put a pin in this one.
Let's put a pin in it. Yeah. We'll save that for now. Yep. I guess if we want to look at this one real quick, this is Specialized Crux 2020, previous generation Crux, definitely designed as a cross bike. You would love the way this bike rides. The frame, I actually have the exact same one as a single speed cyclocross bike right now.
With the paint job?
With the exact
Yeah?
same
Oh,
paint
nice.
job. Things about this, it's gonna be limited on tire clearance. It was designed for 33 max cyclocross tires. It's also mechanical group set, which awesome group set.
Changing cables
Yeah.
and housing, I think, might be a thing in my past
Yeah,
now.
yeah. No, and I think
I hate to sound spoiled. I do like the price, but I think probably the biggest thing is the tire limitation on this bike.
yeah, it's gonna be limited. So I think this one, awesome bike, probably no.
Yeah, so unfortunately, as rock and roll as that paint scheme is,
It is.
I think we're gonna pass on
I
this
called
one.
this one Tequila Sunrise.
It's pretty good.
It's rad. Yeah.
Okay, so we've narrowed it down to these three picks here. We have 3T Exploro, we have the giant Revolt, and then we have the expensive S-Works. Decision time. Let's just recap really fast. 3T, gearing on point. We have a problem with tire clearance because I think these were 40 maximum.
Yep. A little limited.
And then other than that, alloy wheels.
Alloy wheels.
What was the other limitation on the 3T? I think that was about it.
Yeah, it's designed for both 700 and 650B. So if you wanted bigger tires, you could technically get a different wheel set. 650B, a little slower for sure.
So I'd probably end up having
Yeah.
to buy new tires for this thing, potentially even new wheels if I wanted the much higher volume that are available on the 650B. Okay, let's take a look at the Giant Revolt, remind ourselves, really pretty paint job.
Totally.
We also have alloy wheels on this bike. We have a slightly different
Yep.
group set, still capable for the type of riding I'm gonna be doing around here, around the same price. Big old handlebars was the thing
Yes.
I remember about these. But otherwise, there's a lot of similarities between the 3T and the Giant.
Big old handlebars, and you probably want to get some new tires here.
Oh, just right off the get-go.
Just right off the I mean,
But they go bigger, like there's more clearance
Yes.
on this frame.
yes, exactly. You could fit 50s or bigger on a 700C. So plenty of options there.
But then I get rid of the tan sidewall, and I don't know if I can do that.
Oh, we can find you some wide tan sidewalls. They're out there.
And then option number 3, the buy once, cry once option, the specialized S-Works Diverge 2020. It's basically got everything.
Yes, I mean,
I don't know if there's anything I'd have to swap out. I mean, the tires are a little bit small.
little small.
This would come out of the box and we could just go
We
ride,
could
no
go.
problem.
Yeah, we could go. Which is definitely tempting.
But do I want to spend $5,000 is
Totally.
the thing. And I don't know if I do. I'm going to tell you that right now.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to immediately get rid of the
and this
Diverge.
is one thing I want to say. The Diverge is a very, very cool, capable bike. If at some point you get into gravel and you're like, man, I love this, and I don't really see myself racing, but I want to ride a bunch of gravel, we could then find you a sweet Diverge, because these things are super capable. I would not call them a race bike at the moment. So,
and what's cool about buying used, again, shout out to Cycle Limited, you can resell it used and not take this huge loss. If you go buy a new bike, you're gonna ride it for a little bit. Like they say with buying cars, once you roll it off the lot, you immediately depreciate like 20%.
There's 20%.
So that's what's nice about buying used, but I don't know that I want to spend this much money on my first gravel bike. So that brings us down to these two bikes here.
Yeah, I mean, personally, this bike right here, I would probably not want to like put a bunch of money into upgrading parts on this bike. I would probably use this. If you decide you like gravel,
go find
sell it and find something else. This Giant, I think.
Better upgrade path?
I think a better upgrade path, like you could get a new group set, you could get new wheels, and still that frame I think is gonna be
a little bit more enduring.
A little more enduring, for sure. Yeah.
And it's $150 cheaper. Okay, so before I change my mind again, Lance, thank you for your help. We're going Giant. And I think the stuff that we're gonna be doing, which is coming in part 2 of this video, is going to, I'm not gonna need any immediate upgrades to this bike. I think these tires are gonna be fine based on what we talked about. Let's put in the order, and through the magic of editing, we're gonna have a Giant here in about 5 seconds.
Good to see you, bud.
How you doing, dude? Dude,
Good.
This thing is sick.
Not bad, right?
Yeah.
So, a couple of things.
Yeah.
I want to talk, well, let's start with kind of the geometry. I know that we have a lot going on right here.
Yes.
Is that normal? I'm used to like obviously low and arrow on a road bike.
No, I mean, I think it's just what you're comfortable with. I mean, definitely, I would say like typically what I do, I kind of measure from like bottom of my bar to front axle. And on my gravel bike, it's typically like 1.5 to 2 centimeters higher than on my road bike.
Oh, I am easily like 3 or 4 centimeters. Let's lower it, I think.
So let's drop this a little bit. I mean, I think you're gonna feel higher than you do on your road bike, no matter what. But yeah, let's make this a little closer.
Sick. All right, we're doing better now.
All right, we're doing better.
Shout out 2-piece bar and stem. That took me about like 2.5 minutes. The other thing I want to ask you about, and I think you already know because you're holding it right there, is pressures.
These are 40s. Very minimal tread. I think we're gonna test their abilities today for sure. But
and I think in the intro we did say we're gonna swap these tires out. Here we are.
That's okay. It'll be sick. A little loosey goosey. But yeah, I mean, I would say so. My rule of thumb, forever on Specialized tires, I ran either 38 mil tires or 42s. And for me, I would always set the 38s at like 36 psi, and the 42s I'd be somewhere between like 30 and 33 psi. These are 40s. They're limited on tread, so I think we're gonna err on the side of a little lower for a little better traction today. Let's put these at like 34 and see how that
Okay, we're up here, buddy. First question is pedal situation.
Yes.
I have road pedals.
Yeah.
So my first question is, will you ever forgive me? And the second,
I'll forgive you. No, I think, I mean, there's a lot of people that run road pedals on gravel, especially when they're your power meter. I much prefer mountain bike pedals because 1, you have more float, and 2, you're also able to kind of rock your feet back and forth a little bit.
Oh, there's a little bit more float in there.
Just a little bit there. Which for me, when I'm like shifting the position and letting the bike kind of do what it wants to do below me, I'm just much more confident. Like being locked in rigid on the road shoes, some people might like that because you feel a little more confident and secure, but in the case that you do have to get off, mountain bike pedals and shoes are much better to walk around in. So
these cleats need to be replaced anyway. So we already went up a little thing, and I realized right off the bat, and I kind of knew this, but maybe folks listening to this need to know that you can't just stand up when you not want to make power. Because I was slipping already, even though I was seated on this little riser right about there. Whoa.
Yeah, there you go.
Tell me about like weight balance on the bike, how it's different on a gravel bike versus a road bike.
Totally. Yeah, I mean, I would say most of the time on a road bike, you're going up a steep climb. You just have to put power to the pedals.
Stand up, sit down, however you want to do it.
Doesn't matter, right? Where off-road, whether you're on a gravel bike, mountain bike, it's much more, you have to position your weight so that you're maintaining traction and actually able to put power down. Oftentimes that means you cannot stand up, and you're oftentimes like putting your weight back into your saddle as much as you can to just keep that rear tire planted. And I think the other thing, off-road, you have to, when you're climbing, you're oftentimes having to increase and decrease your pace to just maintain traction and get up like these sections of trail that are more difficult. Like there, it's like you stay seated, you put out 500-600 watts for 10 seconds just to get up over this thing, and then you can like kind of settle.
Yeah, right.
But if you don't accelerate into it, you're probably not gonna make it out. When you're coming into like a steep section where you might be losing traction, if it's relatively smooth and it's purely just like loose conditions and you're trying to get up it, you want to be spinning, like high cadence, lower torque. Each pedal stroke is not like trying to spin the rear wheel. You're kind of just like, and you can keep your weight a little more planted in the saddle that way, not as choppy. If you're climbing and it's really bumpy, you kind of want to do the opposite, because if your cadence is super high and your rear tire is bouncing all over this stuff, you're going to be like only adding to that bounce.
Right.
And you're going to not be able to put power down because you're all over the place. Where a little lower cadence, a little more muscle, you're able to like keep that rear tire planted, and there's just like less dynamic movement going on.
That makes sense. Just a constant tension in the chain.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of leads to the descending. Like off-road, you have to be very aware of the terrain that you're on and how it's varying 10 feet to 10 feet to 10 feet. Like gravel roads, gravel conditions, dirt, they change all the time. I mean, you're riding over these conditions, the front wall tires moving, the rear tires doing something different. It's like, you don't really want to fight that. You want to be loose, you want to be braced but loose, and kind of allow the bike to do what it wants to do, but you're not wrestling the thing. A lot of people, especially when they get into like more technical, scarier, high-speed situations where you're like, oh crap, they tense up and you're grabbing the brakes and your arms are stiff. And when you don't have suspension, when you're rigid, like now the only thing maintaining traction and planted on the ground is your tire. And yeah, you don't have a whole lot of
not much going on.
So the looser you are and the more you're able to kind of like allow the bike to do what it wants to do, come up, come down, lean it.
Yeah, so lean the bike, not your body, or lean your body and not the bike? Because I know there's a couple of trains of thought.
Yeah, I mean, I would say in gravel, there's a lot more leaning your bike and keeping your body
center gravity planted over.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. Where in road you can get, because you just have a little more traction, you can kind of get down into it. Where like gravel, off-road, it's a lot of like kind of counterbalancing.
And that comes back to what you were saying earlier about like put a little body English into it, let the bike do its thing, don't fight it.
Totally. And another thing that I kind of come from a cyclocross background, and in gravel, in dirt, on skinny tires, you don't have a whole lot of front tire traction. So you can't really be like steering the bike with just up here and having all your weight in your arms. A lot of it for me actually comes from like using kind of your hips planted in the saddle to like drive the bike a little bit.
And the whole idea is just to increase the amount of traction you have, so you're not losing control of the bike from underneath you. And you brought up something earlier too. I know in road there's this idea of like there are 3 things you can do in a corner. You can corner, you can accelerate, or you can brake. Once you start accelerating or braking, you're no longer, the traction goes away. You're no longer cornering. That's why you see people who get a corner wrong on a road bike, they squeeze brakes and they stand up.
It is super, super important setting up for whatever corner or technical section is coming up. Like, you can only slow down so much once you are entering that corner because you have limited traction. Like, you're not going to be able to get into it too fast and grab brake.
Higher stakes than road.
There's higher stakes. You're going to go down. So you want to set up really well. You want to come into it at a speed that's comfortable for you, and then
Commit to it.
Take your line and commit to it. For me, sometimes I'm comfortable with, like, I come in a little too hot, I'm grabbing a little too much brake. I much rather have the rear brake or rear tire sliding than the front tire.
Right.
So, I mean, like a rally car. Like, those guys are loose, but they're always trying to oversteer, not understeer.
Right.
So it's a similar kind of deal where it's like, if you can get the rear to slide a little more and like help you kind of get through the corner, that's beneficial, more so than like stuffing the front tire in and then you are losing it, or just like power sliding off the side of the road. The other thing is like, don't be afraid to like put a foot out, like foot out, kind of that tripod, just to be a little safer. I mean, there's a lot of corners where I'm like, I haven't ridden this corner. I don't know exactly how the traction is. I think this is how fast I can go into it, but I'm not totally sure. I'm gonna just put my foot out and kind of drag it as I'm going through. Foot's out, you're able to like put a lot of weight into the bike, and the vectors of like how the load is going into the tires are a little less likely to slide out. I think we should go try it.
Sick. Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna do. We got a couple of little practice runs.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go over this ridge right here. We got a couple of little practice downhills, a couple of little practice uphills, and then you're gonna tell me what I'm doing right, what I'm doing wrong, and then we're gonna put everything together. And I'm gonna try to hold your wheel on the final section, which is the most difficult, and we'll see how long I can do that. All right, so I think that I have a lot to learn in terms of, you made it look easy.
No
dude.
way. Dude, the fact that you made it down that with these tires, pretty nuts.
We did say we were going to change these tires straight away.
No, we did.
So I think that I could buy performance, like right off the bat, by
100%.
getting better tires. But like 90% is probably I just need to get out and do repetitions, just like anything else. You get better at it. I will say there were a couple of sections I'm going to search through the 360 footage and find those moments where I was like, ooh, one of them I had a foot out, and I was like, I didn't think I needed the foot out, but just in case. Yeah. I needed the foot out. I lost the front for a second.
Totally, yeah.
And then there was part of the little single track section that was a little off camber, and I was just coming in, and I think I did what you talked about, what you shouldn't do, which is like I tensed up when I saw that, and all of a sudden I was like just on the edge of the limit of my tires.
Totally. It's just that when you're at the edge of that traction, the friction is like at its maximum.
Yeah, I was there.
It's all it takes is like that little stiffen it up catalyst to like break loose, you know?
I'm grateful I still have all the skin on my knees and elbows.
Dude, you were killing it. And yeah, as we were kind of, this last little bit was super steep, but one thing we didn't chat about is being comfortable, like getting your butt behind the saddle. Like that weight back, kind of like arms stretched out.
Like a bike throw.
Like a bike throw.
Here, yeah.
Yeah, and that allows you, so you're able to be on the brakes and taking technical sections without like so much weight being on that front tire where you lose grip and now you're down.
So what we're gonna do next is we have this last and final section down here, and just for fun, I'm gonna see how long I can hold Lance's wheel. Lance going 80%, me going 100%. Let's find out.
Let's see it.
The bug. Wait up, yeah, he's good.
Dude, that's pretty fun, isn't it?
Yeah. So I think I'm keeping a gravel bike.
I think you should.
It was so fun. It just reminds me of like first starting out on the road bike because I don't know what I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But today I learned a little bit about what I don't know, and I think, like we said earlier, I think part of that I think I can just buy some appropriate tires and get an immediate performance increase because I was a little all over the place. But honestly, like I have so much to learn, and I think it's going to make me a better road cyclist.
Mm-hmm.
There were a couple of moments where it was funny. We were talking about this, like losing traction.
Totally.
On the road bike, it's like it's over. I'm crashing, and I tense up, and I have to learn to chill and relax. Even if like the front, I lost the front a couple times too, and it's like every instinct in my body as a road cyclist is like,
I'm going down.
and we're going down.
Yeah. Off-road, like, you'll often get to those scenarios where it's like, you're on the limit, you're starting to lose it, you're going slow enough that it's like, and like the traction changes from foot to foot. So it's like, you're losing it, oh, now I got it, and I'm back up, and I'm good to go.
And you don't just tense up like you've been there before. You've experienced it, so you don't tense up. You like let the bike do its thing. That's what it's supposed to do. And with that in mind, also a couple of times I felt the tire deflect a little bit. I'm not talking. It wasn't like burping and coming off, but it was like the tire's doing the thing that it's supposed to do.
Totally.
And a high volume tire does that, but a 28, even a 32 that we run nowadays, they don't do that. And when I felt that a couple of times today, I was like, again, I did that tense up thing, and I have to learn to like chill.
Yeah.
And this comes with experience.
Totally, and that's why we're running lower pressures, is to get the tire to do that. So, and it's a different feeling, but it's something you get used to over time.
So I think I'm gonna put a slightly longer stem on there. A couple of small things. Otherwise, this bike is good to go.
Yeah.
A slightly longer stem, and then tires, and I think that's about it. And then I think I can have a lot more confidence on that bike. I think I'm going 50s.
Yeah, I think so. I think with your level of fitness and the terrain we have here, having 50s with, I don't think you need like crazy knob, but like an intermediate.
Not slicks?
Not slicks, yeah. Much more than slicks. Yeah, like I had the Pathfinder on the rear and the Tracer on the front. I think something like that is sweet.
Gotta have the tan sidewall though, because that looks pro.
Good. It looks good,
hey,
especially with the green bike. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your wisdom. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Catch you guys.
Sweet.